Thanks for joining me. Today we're talking about how to vent our anger.
Have you ever popped a balloon? Have you noticed that the fuller it is the more easy it is to pop? That's exactly how anger works. Our verse this week comes from Ephesians 4, verses 26 and 27. Be ye angry, and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil. There's three parts to this that I want us to look at. The first is, be angry and sin not. It's possible to be angry and not sin. Anger is an emotion, and when we feel anger, we get to choose what we do with it. We can let that anger turn into sin, but it's important that we vent our anger in healthy ways. Which leads me to number 2. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. This is dealing with time. How often does the sun go down? Every day. So when should I deal with my anger? Every day. This is critical concept here is that the emotion of anger has a nasty ability to grow over time. It's like a snowball of wrath. The emotion of what we call anger can range from a mild irritation to frustration, all the way up to a seething rage. And unless you're sucker punched or something, you don't start off with seething rage. Those mild irritations grow into frustrations, which can eventually grow into rage. And here's the crazy part about it. That snowball, it's all inside, and no one can see it until you explode. And the bigger that snowball is, the easier that thing is to pop. And number 3, never give place to the devil. When we blow up, it doesn't just affect us. We usually blow up on other people. And it's usually something pretty small that triggers it. When walking around with a heart full of frustration and anger, we're like a hate bomb, just walking around waiting to explode. If we do that, we give Satan an opportunity to divide us. Because if you blow up on someone, you've hurt that person with your hate bomb. And those wounds take a miracle to heal. Let's get real practical. How can we vent? If you go to anger management, they may tell you to count to 10 to give your brain function time to switch modes, because your rage brain works altogether differently than your rational brain. Some tips are to scream in a pillow, punch something soft like a punching bag, or go do some exercise. And all these are great tools to prevent us blow up if you have a seam that's starting to come undone, but this doesn't address any of those underlying issues that are causing those feelings. The goal is to keep the balloon deflated. As a Christian, when people irritate you, and they will, you can cover in love. But this is where you can fully turn it over to God and let it go. It's like water off a duck's back. But if those irritations grow into frustration, then you've got to deal with it. Some religions phrase this as wrathful compassion, but I want you to think of this as tough love. If you have frustrations, you need to give someone some tough love. And that tough love starts with communication. Talk to the person, tell them about your frustration, but do it for the love of the other person in gentleness. And here's a gentleness test. Pretend that the other person is on fire. I'm kidding. Pretend the other person is a candle. Will your puff of air fuel the flame or blow them out? Before you confront someone, blow up a balloon to how frustrated or how angry you feel. Then, light a candle, and as you ease out the air, imagine that those are your words of tough love. If you do it right, the candle will stay lit, and everyone will be better for it. If you let it out too fast, then you're going to blow out the candle.
You've heard the phrase, don't get mad, get even. Well, some people don't get even. They just stop talking. They just be quiet. Or other times, people just leave the group because they don't want to deal with the people. I mean, how do you deal with your anger? Do you address it? Do you face it? Do you confront it? Or do you just be quiet and just let it pile on until you explode? Or you get out of there and just quit the group. I think that's a lot of the reasons why people leave the churches today is because they get offended, and those problems that start off as a mild irritation and grow into frustrations, they can't deal with those issues right away. So instead of confronting the people, they just leave. It is easier. I promise you it is easier, but it's not best. I don't think so anyways. And then my question I want to leave you with is, do you have someone right now that you have those frustrations with? In the church, in your life, your personal life, your work life? I want you to write a letter to that person, or message them, email them, give them a phone call, and make it right before the sun goes down today. That's your clock. It's ticking. Before the sun goes down, make it right. Reach out and talk to them. Open that line of communication in order to heal those wounds before you blow up, or worse, they leave. Remember, it's not a sin to be angry, but it's our choice of what we want to do with it. Thanks for joining me.